Hey folks, welcome back. In this video we're going to go over 4 worked examples to show you how to do problems involving fundamental forces and force mediating particles. Now if you haven't already done so, check out my previous video covering the theory on this topic, and that way you'll be able to apply what you learned in that video to this one. So let's get into it. Question 1 says the strong nuclear force is one of 4 fundamental forces in nature. Part A says to state the approximate range of the strong nuclear force. Well, remember the approximate range for this force is about 10 to the minus 15 meters. Part B says what is the role of this force in the nucleus of an atom? Well, remember the strong nuclear force or strong force holds together the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. It does this by overcoming the electrostatic repulsion between the protons. Part C then says to name the force mediating particle for the strong nuclear force. Well, remember this is the gluon. Question 2 part A says the photon is the force carrying particle for which fundamental force? Well, remember that is the electromagnetic force. And part B, what is the range of this force? Well, remember the range is infinite. And part C says what is the strength of this force relative to the strong nuclear force? Well, if we assume the strong nuclear force has a relative strength of 1, then the electromagnetic force has a strength of about 10 to the minus 2 times that of the strong nuclear force. Question 3 part A says what is the force mediating particle for the gravitational force? Well, remember that is the graviton, and it then says in part B, this particle is said to be hypothetical. What does this mean? Well, remember it means it is yet to be found, it's yet to be discovered, so we can't add it onto the standard model yet. And lastly, part C says explain why the gluon cannot be the force mediating particle for the gravitational force. Well, if we think about the range that the gluon acts over versus the range required for the force carrier of the gravitational force, then we can say that the gluon acts over a very short range of about 10 to the minus 15 meters, whereas the gravitational force has an infinite range. So the gluon couldn't possibly be the force carrier for the gravitational force because it only acts over a very short range. And part D says to compare the relative strength of the strong force with the gravitational force in terms of orders of magnitude. Well, for the strong force, remember we can say its relative strength is 1, which is the same as writing 10 to the power of 0, and the relative strength of the gravitational force compared to the strong nuclear force is about 10 to the power of minus 39. So what we need to do here, remember, is to use powers of 10 to compare them. So we take the larger number, which is this number 1 or 10 to the power of 0, and divide it by the smaller number. So we have 10 to the power of 0 divided by 10 to the power of minus 39 is equal to 10 to the power of 39. And therefore we can say the strong nuclear force is 39 orders of magnitude greater than the gravitational force. And lastly, question 4 part A says the study of beta decay provided the first evidence for the discovery of which type of particle? Well, remember we looked at this when we did fundamental matter particles, and we said that beta decay was evidence for the discovery of the neutrino. Part B says to explain in terms of beta decay why this particle was thought to exist at the time of discovery. Well, again, we looked at this in the theory video for leptons and neutrinos, but we can summarise it here to say that beta decay was originally thought to be the decay of a neutron into a proton and an electron, i.e. the reaction looked like this, neutron converting into a proton plus an electron. And mass and charge were found to be conserved in this reaction. However, we said that energy and momentum were not conserved when considering both sides of this reaction. And this suggested the presence of another particle of zero charge and essentially zero mass, i.e. the neutrino. Part C then says to write down the equation for beta decay. Well, remember this is the more complete form of the reaction that we just saw in part B, where we have the neutron converting into a proton plus an electron antineutrino shown by the bar above the nu symbol there. Part D then says which fundamental force is responsible for beta decay and what is the associated force carrying particle? Well, remember the fundamental force responsible is the weak nuclear force, and the force carrying particle for that is the W plus and minus and Z bosons. Or you can simplify it to just W and Z bosons. And lastly, part E says what is the range of this force and what is its strength relative to the strong nuclear force? Well, remember the range of the weak nuclear force is about 10 to the minus 18 meters, even smaller than the range of the strong nuclear force, and the relative strength is about 10 to the minus 6 times that of the strong nuclear force. That's all for this video folks, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. Make sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.